7:01, and we are in the district meeting room. I'd like to recognize everyone here and our visitors at home. Thank you for attending, and if you all would please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, this is...
Always love it when the kids get to assist, so thank you guys. And we are at our roll call. Mr. Jones, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Engel.
Here.
Mrs. Moore.
Here.
Mrs. Spindler.
Here.
Mr. Ziny.
Here.
Mr. Vincent.
Here, a quorum is present. We will continue public participation. Anybody? No one? Okay. And then we need adoption of the agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Right. I would like to move up 11C to the top at Watkins Memorial Athletic Boosters introduction. We'll move that to right after the presentation by Mrs. Miller-Smith. And is everyone agreeable to that?
Sure.
No, we have a street fair that you probably have to get to, so. All right, Mr. Jones.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mrs. Engel.
Yes.
Mrs. Spindler.
Yes.
Mr. Ziny.
Yes.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes, that passes. We'll move on to our presentation. Ms. Miller-Smith.
Thank you so much. Well, once again, greetings from the Ohio School Boards Association, and thank you, Rick and Casey, for making time in tonight's agenda for me to be with you. It is a pleasure to be with you. The Central Region, you all know, but for people in the audience, the Central Region is one of 5 regions for the Ohio School Boards Association. We serve 14 Central Ohio counties and 103 public school districts. Mr. Ziny sits on our executive committee. At this time, the region is actively promoting 3 important activities. Our fall conference is going to be September 22nd, back at Villa Milano, yay. Our student achievement fair, we're still planning on the face-to-face Capitol Conference at the Convention Center, and the student achievement fair is back. And next Wednesday night, we have a legislative open house at CTEC. Of Licking County, and it's going to be full of all the legal updates and all the great things that are going on right now that you might have questions about. It's free, but get online and register for it so that we know and we can track your points for future awards and such. As you all know, we recognize the achievements of school board members, school districts, teachers, community members, and district employees. And we support regional and state success through a system of committees. But tonight, I'm here on behalf of the Ohio School Boards Association to recognize the longstanding service of and to present to Southwest Licking Local Board of Education member Deborah Moore her 10-year Milestone Service Award. Deb, we thank you for your service to public education and for your commitment to this community and to the students and the families in this community. And so I want to read you your certificate. You can come forward.
Yeah.
This is a Distinguished Board Member Award. The Ohio School Boards Association recognizes Deborah Moore as a 10-year board member for her continued dedication and commitment to public education as a school board member. It's signed by our CEO, Richard C. Lewis, and by our former president. These were created in January, Scott E. Huddle, president.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Can we get your picture with Kim? Can we get your picture with Kim?
What?
Can we get your picture with Kim?
Sure.
Sure.
I bet some wished it was only 8.
Not us, though.
So, John, your head's peeking right between. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Thank you.
I do want to say to you all, every time I get this opportunity, I want to thank you all because it's what everybody in this room does in one way or the other. You contribute to the success of this district, and that's really important. It's why we do enjoy good public schools in Ohio. So thank you all so much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Welcome.
All right. We'll now move to Mr. Mumford. He's joining us from the Watkins Memorial Athletic Association.
Hi, my name is Jason Mumford. I'll be taking over for Scott Schindler as the president of the Boosters organization. Just thought it'd be a good time to introduce myself to everyone and let you know if you need to reach out to me, anything I can do to help. Thought it'd be an opportunity because I was talking to some of them. No one had been here in quite a while, so I thought I'd just kind of fill you in on what we currently are doing, what we've been doing. We have a group of volunteers that show up. Our meetings are second Monday of every month. We fundraise for the student athletes we just finished our 25th anniversary of the VW show, which is a wonderful time. If ever you want to get out there, and it's a great time to people watch. It's a great event. We're currently doing the street fair, so everyone, when you're done, stop down, get a lemon twist from the cheerleaders and a Warrior Burger from us or a fish sandwich. We also do the craft show, as well as working at all the concession stands throughout all the sporting events. You'll see parents and us there trying to help volunteer. Some of our current yearly monies that we give, we run the Mallory Scholarship, which is a student athlete, both a boy and a girl each year. We also do the senior banners. So anytime you see all the banners for all the athletes, that comes through us. We do the LCL championship banquets, give for those. We also do the pay to play hardship sponsors. So those come through us as well. Currently, we've got a ton of different things we've been working on. I just kind of share a couple things that we've been doing. We're finishing up the soccer press box and concession stand. That should be done hopefully within the next week or so. We completed the boys press box and concession stand area, as well as for baseball, as well as the dugouts and Coach Schoen's new storage building that he's got there along the side. Softball did the same thing not too long ago, press box and concession stand, put a new fence there. We also were able to complete, about 2 years ago maybe, the middle school and youth softball fields that are over on the side of the buildings there. We've been able to give the various programs, whether it's wrestling singlets or, just down the line, cheerleading uniforms. All told, in probably the last 5 years, we spent through donations, working, I think, close to $200,000. So we've got a lot of things going. We got a lot of exciting things going. We have great membership, a lot of great volunteers. So I know we can't ask any questions, so I'll just say hello and thank you very much. And if you need anything, reach out to me.
Thank you for partnering with us.
It's a huge job, and thank you very much.
It's very exciting. We have a lot of great volunteers, so it makes it easy.
Really appreciate all you do for our students.
All right. Thanks a lot. If you need
Thank
anything,
you
Thanks, Jason.
very much. All right. Long request to speak on agenda items, Teamsters. Southwest Looking Education Association? No? All right, we'll move on to agenda item 4, approval of minutes.
Motion approval of 4A.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Jones.
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Zani,
Yes.
Mrs. Engel,
Yes.
Mrs. Spindler,
Abstain.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes, that passes. We'll move on to the financial report. I need a motion to accept the report from the treasurer.
So moved.
Second.
Again, first month of the new fiscal year, so there's not a whole lot of estimates in yet. We did receive a property tax estimate. Property tax advances are coming in. It's coming in about $2 million higher. It's just timing of payments. We don't expect to, more money or over than what we anticipate. So we also did receive our income tax settlement, which was way up compared to last year because of COVID, but it was still up even more than what we expected. So that's a good thing. Other than that, it's a fairly routine month. We'll know more once estimates are put it together.
Questions?
With our digital academy, have we seen a decrease in open enrollment? People moving to the digital?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing's been updated on School
yet.
Foundation. Probably won't happen until September.
I know we at least have 3 or 4 students
Okay.
that are coming back to us that would
Good.
not have been with us.
Okay.
And we don't have this option.
Okay.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Ziny,
Yes.
Mrs. Engel,
Yes.
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Spindler,
Yes.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes, that passes. We'll move on to the personnel consent calendar. I think we could take pretty much all of these together.
Motion to approve 6A through L.
Second.
Any discussion? No? Mr. Jones?
Mrs. Spindler,
Yes.
Mrs. Engel,
Yes.
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Ziny,
Yes.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes, that passes. We'll move on to personnel number 7. Approval or ratification of substitute personnel.
Motion to approve 7A. Second.
Okay. Discussion on Mr. Jones?
Mrs. Spindler,
Yes.
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Engel,
Abstain.
Mr. Ziny,
Yes.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes, that passes. We'll move on to business items. I think we can maybe take them all together.
Yeah, we take them all together if you want to. It's all.
Okay.
I move item 8A through D.
I'll second that. All right,
Do you want to?
go ahead.
Do you want to talk about boundless, or did you want
Which one?
about A? Are you talking about A, or did you?
It just
talk about A?
it's a special needs contract, right? Boundless. Dan, is that so? Is it placement of a student or they provide a service? I can't remember. Placement of a student there. So
Have we used them before? Okay.
The graduation requirements, prior to COVID, we had 21 credits for high school. When the pandemic hit, we went back to 20. So we're recommending that we go back to the 21. Now, I do think it's worth a little bit of a discussion whether that would be for this current graduating class, or if we want to, which would be fine, it's electives, it's adding an additional elective on, or if we want to wait till this class gets through so people can be better prepared and then add it on next year. But either way, we need to get it into our policy, starting with one class, whether it's this current class or our juniors. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that, or.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
Has there been any evaluation on if the current class, if we were to institute it now, how many students would be needing that extra credit?
I would say there's been no study, but my sense is that it would help a lot of kids if it remained at 20.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because I feel like it's, after we start the
That's where
year,
my mind
schedules
was
are
going.
set, I'd hate to, that's gonna,
Yeah.
my opinion would be to go next year
I
starting.
agree.
Yeah, particularly as much as we have let them come in late and leave early last year and this year, I can't imagine that saying at this point in time, by the way, that's going to be good policy.
Right.
So we can update the policy and then put in there, we can start with the junior class.
Yes.
And I think that will be fine. We have lots of options and
Hopefully
electives.
it's
And
fine for Mikey.
I think it will be, I mean, I think you'd be surprised how many additional credits a lot of our kids have.
Okay.
I mean, we can stay with the 20 if you want. We've always just been more than that. That's always just kind of been our standard. So we thought we should consider going back to that practice, since 20 is kind of the minimum. But I think what Mike said is worth considering waiting.
Is 20 the minimum in the state? Okay.
So do you want to talk about that more, or should I go on to C, or
I'm
is everyone?
fine with that.
everyone with that?
We wait.
I don't think it's unreasonable to have 21.
No,
That's not what I'm saying at all,
Right.
but waiting a year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it might actually
But
Yeah.
if we do the first reading tonight, second reading next month, then we can start to prepare kids, talk to the junior class, and just take a look at those things to make sure we're on track for that.
Okay.
Okay, school calendar. So we have finally heard back from someone that is willing to take us. So I wanted to give you a little bit of information, and then if you support it and you like the idea, then we can go forward with making the amendment to the school calendar. So the Covelli Center at Ohio State will host our graduation. And without going through all of the, we have to pick and choose some things and decide what we need and what we don't need. So to give you a ballpark, it would be between $20,000 and $25,000, which I think would be well worth it considering even some of the rental and things we did this year and the setup. Although the high school the stadium is awesome and it's a fantastic place to have graduation, the problem with that is if it rains. And that happened to us 2 years in a row, and then we do not have a plan B because we are too large to fit into our gyms. So with the Covelli Center, currently our current graduating class is sitting at 364. So there's 2,800 seats for guests. That does not include the graduates. There's plenty of space on the floor for the graduates, so we'd be fine with that. So at our current graduating class, everybody would have 7 tickets, and there would be a surplus of about 250 plus that would be left over. And I'm sure not everybody would use their 7 tickets, so then those extras could go up. But then if you look at our current junior class, they'd be looking at 8 tickets apiece. It just depends on the graduating class size.
Regardless, it's more than 2.
It's more than 2,
Right.
It's more than 4, and for a long time coming, as long as I can see when you look at current classes, it's going to be even at the largest class, it's still going to be 7 tickets. So you're talking not till our growth is so far gone, then even then it would be 6. So it's enough to help with blended families or grandparents and siblings. So, and it's more than we've ever been able to offer. So I know the downside is it is on Ohio State, it's downtown, so I'm sure the convenience of having it here is nice, but I just think we have to be realistic that we've outgrown our current facilities. So if you like the idea and you're in support of that and on board, then I would recommend we amend the calendar to put graduation on May 21st. One of the things I did not include on there is they're going to try to put 2 schools in that day, so they have an AM and an afternoon option. We don't have the time nailed down. I mean, we're going to be their first graduating class in there, so I think they're working out some kinks. I would recommend the AM. I think that works better for families who have gatherings afterwards. So right now they said they're targeting 9 o'clock, but that's a target, so it might be 10, it might be 9. But I would say we shoot for the AM of the 21st at the Covelli Center would be my recommendation. So I don't know if questions
Where
or
is the Covelli?
it's on campus. And that's all I can tell you.
I looked it up. It's on the Ohio State campus.
Yep, that's all I know.
But I don't know where.
Lane and King.
Yeah,
and,
somewhere.
around that area, near the shoe-ish.
West side of the campus.
It's
Okay.
over there.
Oh, so it's clear over on the other side of the campus.
Okay. Parking?
So there should be a lot of parking over
I mean,
there.
if it has 2,800 seats,
They
I would
said,
assume they'd have.
They're still working. I have all their notes from them. They're still working with Campus Park to figure out the best solution, but their guess would be the Buckeye lots would be open for cars to park in. So they're literally trying to work out some of these kinks, but we're finally been able to nail them down on here's a date, here's all the things you can pick from if you want.
Is this the start of a relationship that if we like it, we will have it yearly?
Yeah,
Like,
so what
we'll
I
have-
was hoping, and that's actually a great question, I had told, because obviously Brittany's been heavily working with them, trying to get them to agree to take us. I didn't know, do we want to try 1 year? My concern is, I do feel like when people find out they're doing graduation, it's going to become popular, because it's hard. We've been trying since pre-pandemic to find a place to have our graduation at. So I didn't know if we wanted to ask them for a multi-year contract, if we want to say to them, what's our deadline to let you know if we want to return. I definitely don't want to lose the opportunity, especially if it works out really well and everybody likes it. So that is something I think we should, because we have not been able, and when I tell you that she has called everybody, this is the first place that we've been able to nail down to commit to us. We tried really hard at Denison. That would have been my first choice. But that's a no. So
I'm thinking we better take a multi-year
well,
contract.
that's kind of what I was thinking. We
Based
should try
on-
for 3 years,
Cost?
if they'll take
Or
us.
did I miss it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 to 25,000,
Based,
depending on what we pick.
based on the fact that we cannot find any other place in all of Central Ohio to have a graduation, I'm thinking we had better nail down more than 1 year's date, right?
There we go. Jeff's putting it on the screen. Thanks, Jeff.
The beauty of Google.
Yeah, so it is on the other side of
I
Canton.
think it's by the Jesse Owens Stadium.
Yeah, and the shots right there too, right?
Maybe if
Baseball, everything's back there, that whole west side of the.
Yeah. The
we
track.
committed, would they possibly give us a better price, do you think?
I don't think so, no.
No. Okay.
I assume this is so far away to talk about, but I assume, maybe I shouldn't assume. We always have our choir and bands perform at the graduation. Will we bus those kids there so
Yeah.
parents don't have to
Absolutely.
drive them
Yes.
to? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and that would be considered no different than any other event they
Yeah.
travel to. We'll take care of that. Okay.
And I know before, when we were talking about venues, we talked about student fees. Where are we with that discussion?
So currently, in Licking County, there's only 2 schools that have outside venues currently. One is Licking Heights, and the other is Granville. And in talking to them, neither of them currently charge fees. Now, a lot of Franklin County does. So I didn't know if we wanted to try it for 1 year,
graduation.
see what it does. I think currently we're in a good financial place with the budget that I think I'm not saying on longevity, maybe we wouldn't have to, but I think currently we're probably at a pretty good place.
I wouldn't want to charge any fees at all.
Well, then there you
so.
go. So, I mean, there are schools that do it.
I know Franklin County, that's popular,
but,
that's what I was asking.
And when I was talking to the Licking County superintendents, obviously, most of the schools, besides Heights and Newark, aren't larger than us, as large as us. But neither of them do charge Granville or Heights. So I wasn't recommending that.
Well, and even though the price is the price, I mean, we still won't be doing rentals, and we won't have the personnel costs that we.
Correct. Yeah,
we have.
there's some savings to
Yeah.
the district. Yes, absolutely.
So
Do we have the ability to stream?
So that's one of
That's
the
an upgrade
options
question.
that they put in there.
Okay.
So when you're talking that range of prices, you pick from what you want.
Okay.
So that is an option we could pick and have.
but
yes.
they do the streaming. That's
Yes,
okay,
correct.
and that would be streamed for free as well. People wouldn't have to pay to.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
I mean, you'd be paying for the service.
Right.
Yeah. But yes,
But I was
our-
thinking
the
more like
our community
The
would
watcher won't have to pay
yeah,
for
the
it.
watcher wouldn't have to pay.
No,
Okay.
correct. So if it sounds good to everybody, then
sounds
we'll go
great.
forward with them, and then we can.
It's no, because it's under 50,000, so we don't usually take those.
So if that's the case, we'll update the calendar. We'll have the high school, Mrs. Ladowitz, start sharing out so people can start marking their calendars and planning. for
I don't
that day.
remember off the top of my head, when was the original date? Do you know?
We
yeah,
haven't had a date.
It was?
We didn't,
Oh,
there's
was
not a
no
date on
date.
it.
It's usually that Saturday before Memorial Day.
Yeah.
The past several years
Okay.
have been,
Yes,
right?
yes, we asked for anything that entire week, like just just give us a date. So we kind of lucked out.
We'll
in
take
that what we've been-
Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we weren't even going to be picky, so we were excited that it came back to that Saturday
Right.
morning.
That's all right. Thursday, 7 o'clock.
Okay,
All right.
if we're good with that, then the last one on under business items is our school bus routes. This is the annual approval of the bus routes. I will give you with the caveat that transportation is fluid, and Mr. Brown is letting parents know to hang in there, and routes will be reevaluated by September 1st. It just takes time to get everybody moving and at their new stops. So these routes you're voting on, some of them will probably be tweaked.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Ziny,
Yes.
Mr. Vincent,
Yes.
Mrs. Engel,
Yes.
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Spindler.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. We'll move on to the treasure items, and I think we can take all of those together as well.
Motion to approve 9A through D.
Second?
Okay, Mr. Jones.
Usual donations, we appreciate those. With thanks, inventory deletions, we have done this a little while, so stuff we've removed from inventory, ask the board to formalize that removal. Statement of purposes, that time of year where most of them come in for approval. And then we have a couple then now certificates dealing with timing of invoices versus the purchase orders. So
All right. So going to the inventory deletions, I saw we traded in some buses and sold some buses.
yes,
And I know we bought 6 new buses. Are those new buses in?
I don't think they're all in yet, no. I checked Ryan, see if, I haven't seen any of the paperwork come through, so
Okay.
I'm guessing they have not came in
To
yet.
remember this summer, they said it would be mid to late August.
Right. So my question is, are these buses that are being traded in and so,
These were traded in last year.
okay, okay. All
This
right.
is nothing to do with
That's
this.
what I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, this is for last school year, we just late getting this to you. so.
Okay. All right.
No, so we're holding on to current stock until we get new buses in, then we'll evaluate if we can get rid of any or not.
Okay.
I'm envisioning myself on eBay going, hey, sweetie, guess what I bought today? I got a school bus.
School buses have sold well.
I bet.
My guess is they'll show
They
up.
sell well. 'cause
Yeah,
there's
we had
a whole-
somebody come
That,
from
there's a
Mexico
whole like tiny home.
and bought some, yes.
You know, you redo the inside of it to make, you know,
I'm sure some will
camping,
show up next to the
housing.
shoe. But, you know.
Yeah, they do sell well. I mean, better than we ever sold at auctions when we did auctions. So
Yeah,
it's
That's great.
Okay.
eBay's definitely worked. We try to trade them into if we get good value. So
Yeah.
it just depends.
All right. Mr. Jones.
Mrs. Engel,
Yes.
Mrs. Spindler,
Yes?
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Ziny,
Yes.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes. That passes. We'll move on to superintendent items. Dr. Perkins.
So in front of you, you have our updated enrollment. So as you can see, when we ended the school year last May, we were sitting at 4,528 kids. Currently, we're sitting at 4,693. So we've increased by 165 over the summer. And I would tell you that's an increase, and it's still increasing because we are still enrolling kids every day. So hopefully at some point it slows down a little for registration, but that's where we're currently at. You can see our kindergarten class is 328, but we have 20 plus kids still in the queue for registration that are finalizing paperwork. So I anticipate that number is going to be larger as well. So that's kind of a little update on enrollment. I just want to show you where we were at with that. And then I also wanted to kind of comment on the start of school. We've had a really great start of the school year. It's been fantastic to see all the kids back and the teachers. The new buildings are amazing. There's a lot of positivity surrounding those. The construction is obviously not exciting, and that's, if you're hearing some transportation struggles, that's definitely slowing down.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, to be expected. There's nothing that can be done about the mess at 310 and 40 right now. So that's one thing that's frustrating. But even with that, we've done minus yesterday when they wouldn't let the buses through Pike Street take kids home. We've had the previous 2 days, and today we were all kids in by 5. So our times, we're doing well this year and getting kids home. And I think it'll only get better. It gets faster and faster once everyone gets acclimated to the routine. So that's going well. I definitely would say if you stop in any of the schools this year, Pataskala and Kirkersville are crowded. Lots of teachers, lots of kids. So I think it's, I'm sure they're anxiously awaiting January when they can kind of have a little bit more space. So, but they're happy. Everyone seems happy to be here. With that, just so you're aware, and the public too, we're continuing to monitor, the COVID situation. As I've told everyone at school and the community, we're currently mask optional, recommended. That's a fluid situation. Every Monday, the health commissioner meets with the superintendents to go through numbers, and if we see an increase or we have an issue in any of our buildings or grade levels, we'll be reevaluating at that time. So just to keep that in your minds.
Okay.
And that's it for me tonight.
Are you getting, sorry, go ahead. Are you getting, last year you got numbers weekly. You're getting numbers
Mondays.
the same way?
Yep, on
Okay.
Mondays you send the
All right.
numbers. So I'll be sharing those.
Okay.
Mine's similar question, but
Sure.
will we still be doing our notification on the website?
Yep, Tanya's doing that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
So that will be updated.
I
and-
assume so. I just thought I'd ask it.
Yes. Now, I will say we're going back to how we originally started, which seems like forever ago, but originally we started with the health department doing contact tracing based on the information we submit to them, because now there's additional layers with if you wear a mask and if you're vaccinated, et cetera. So they are taking that back over. So hopefully the Ohio Department of Health has taken some things off their plates. So they're feeling fairly confident in their ability to turn that around pretty quickly. So we'll see how that works, but that's where we're
They would
at currently.
still have to check with the school to know if a student was wearing a mask, right?
So we provide them,
Okay.
yes, and then they take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah, we provide them all the information. Yeah, so, other than that, I think that's it.
Okay. Anything else? This may be the quickest meeting we've ever had.
Close. I think we have one other one, like in May. April or May was really short.
It'll give me time to get home through the.
There you go.
That's right.
The obstacle course, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we have adjournment.
We have to
We got
ask about
requests to
non-agendas.
Oops, I apologize. Just missed that there. Request to speak on non-agenda items, Teamsters, Southwest Looking Education Association. All right, now we're at adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Mr. Jones.
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Spindler,
Yes.
Mrs. Engel,
Yes.
Mr. Zani,
Yes.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes, so we are adjourned at 7:32. Thank you.
Thank you.